Here we go. We have your weekend Apple news.
Power in my hands, I can feel the might. M4 MacBooks bringing new heights. Mac mini packs, a punch packs, a fight. Innovate and evolve, it's a pure delight.
Welcome back to the channel. So you know what we do on the weekends. We go through the Apple news, right? 15 or 20 different Apple related stories. Then I also touch on a whole bunch of different Apple product sales. I usually have a beer. Today I have a Deschutes, what is this thing? Festive Winter Ale. So sit back and relax. It's the weekend. On the weekend, we always have some fun. It's the weekend Apple news. All right, so you probably heard that Apple's coming out with some new computers next week, right? Some of the M4 chips are coming out on the M4 Macs. We're all waiting for that. Hopefully 16 gigs of RAM. But right now, there's some crazy sales going on. If you want to pick up kind of just a really inexpensive computer, how about an M2 Air? Take a look over here. On Amazon right now, here's the Apple 2022 M2 Air. It's the 13-inch, 8 gigs, 256. So it's the base model, $699 right now. Lowest price in 30 days, of course. It's getting down to the M1 price. We all love this, right? This is a great system. It's the M2. It's 13 inches, the base model, but if you just need something for travel and stuff, $699 now. Now, it's kind of weird. This is the silver version. If you click on a different version here, you're going to see that it's $849, and you're going to say, what's going on? Well, this is actually, what is this? This is space gray. But for some reason, this gives you a coupon down here, and this coupon's $149, so it comes out to the same cost, $699. I don't know why they have a coupon on this one and not on the other one. Who knows? But if you actually go to the terms over here, it's actually saying, let's just see here, coupon expires on January 1st, 2025. So it's giving you a long time here in this coupon. Who knows what Amazon's doing or what Apple's doing. But either way, $699 for an M2 base model. You might want to pick that up or maybe wait until next week. Okay, so we're all excited about the M4s coming out next week.
Screen so sharp it cuts the night. Apple logo glows like a holy light. Upgrading tech flying away like a kite.
Here's a post actually confirming it. This is actually from Greg Joswiak or whatever the guy's name is. He's saying, Mac, your calendars with a Mac, not Mark. We have exciting new announcements ahead starting on Monday morning. Stay tuned. If you look at this little symbol, take a look. It's the Finder symbol. It's got the 4 right there for the M4s there. Turns into the little Apple icon. So we know there's a whole bunch of Macs coming. Now they're going to come over, they think, the next like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's not going to be an event, but it's going to be like just kind of a press release for, I believe, the 3 different things coming. And we're going to talk about what they are. Each day will have something separate. So kind of exciting, right? Sit back. This weekend will be a fun one because we know they're all coming. Maybe wait on that other Mac I just showed you just a couple more days until we see what's coming. But overall, I still think that was a good deal. So here we are from Mac Rumors right here. It says right here, what to expect from Apple's exciting week of announcements. Apple's marketing chief, Greg, we just talked about him, teased that the company has an exciting week of announcements. We just talked about that. So if we scroll down, though, we know what's coming, right? We've talked about this many times. Hardware, MacBook Pro right here. Apple is expected to announce the 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pro models, including the entry-level 14-inch MacBook Pro. The main difference is here, it's going to have one extra Thunderbolt port where it was missing on the base model. It's also going to have 16 gigs of RAM, basically standard. It's also saying that there's going to be no such improvements, no OLED or anything like that. There was a Russian leak a little while ago, so we know nothing's really going to change there. But overall, we're getting some really, really fast chips. We're going to see the benchmarks on the Pro and the Max models, which will be nice. We're getting the iMac right here. Take a look at this. Really no changes here either. We're not getting a 27 or 32, at least that's what they're saying. But the main difference is the M4 chip again, and unfortunately, they don't think it's going to be an M4 Pro. Why not, Apple? You suck, right? They should have an M4 Pro in there. But it's going to be 16 gigs of RAM standard, they think, which is a huge upgrade. And not that I care that much, but USB-C, all the different type of keyboard, mice, and stuff like that. You hope that they design the mouse. They probably won't, but they should, right? They should definitely do that because the Mac Mini's coming out too. Why wouldn't they? But they probably won't because they're Apple. And then the third thing that's going to be coming out for sure is the Mac Mini. This might be on Wednesday. We don't know because it's going to be the biggest announcement. New design, USB ports, 2 of them on the front of it. I don't know if it's USB-C or Thunderbolt ports. There's going to be 3 in the back, total of 5 possibly. Coming out with the M4, the M4 Pro. New design. It's going to be as big as the Apple TV, or we don't know exactly what it's going to look like yet. There's been almost no leaks of it. Overall, this is what I'm excited about. This is what I'm going to buy. And then I just got to figure out my monitor situation because I don't think the big iMac's coming, but this is what I think I'm going to pick up. What about you? So they're not having an Apple event, but a channel called Front Page Tech. I recommend checking them out. They're a great channel. It's Apple channel, obviously. They created their own event with kind of, I think they use a lot of AI here. I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit for you here so I don't get copyright strike. Hold on, I'll be quiet.
Good afternoon, and welcome. Apple was supposed to...
All right, you can see this guy right here. If I skip ahead, he put himself all over Apple. He did his own kind of press release here. Even, let me see if I can get in there. He even went into the labs. Let me see if I can get right here. He even went into the labs right here. Look at him. Here he is talking. So you get the idea. So he actually created the Apple event on his channel, I think using a lot of AI and kind of green screens and stuff like that because he knows Apple isn't doing it. He knows what's coming. Kind of a cool technique for a channel. Definitely check out that channel. I watch those guys. Those guys kind of take the cynical approach like I do. Kind of funny. So overall, I recommend that channel if you like that cynical approach with Apple. Let's keep moving. So where does this leave us with the M4 MacBook Air? Well, we knew this was actually the case, but this confirms it right here. So from 9to5Mac, display shipments for M4 MacBook Air and new iPhone SE set to begin soon. And then as early 2025 launch is near. So if we kind of go down here, obviously the Air is coming out, we thought, in the beginning of the year, next year. And this kind of confirms it down here. So it says display analyst Ross Young, in 2 subscriber-only posts on X, says that display shipments for the new MacBook Air and iPhone SE are about to begin. For the M4 Air, he notes that shipments are expected to start this month since the month's almost over. That makes them imminent. So basically, if you go down here, it says, it's typical for these kinds of shipments to take place roughly around 3 months before the product launch. As a result, the new M4 Air and SE, basically iPhone SE, seem right on track for their early 2025 launches. So it looks like around 3 months from now, 3 to 4 months from now. So we're definitely looking at February, March of next year, the new Airs and the new iPhone SE. So for all it's worth, we got confirmation. Now, when Apple actually announced its Apple Intelligence, it said it was going to be the most secure and be kind of, it's going to basically open it up to everyone to check to make sure they're doing what they say they're doing, and they're holding to that right now. Here's from Apple Insider. It says Apple offers private cloud compute up for a security probe, right? So Apple advised at launch that private cloud compute security will be inspected by third parties. I think you heard that it says that they're going to make it available for people to check. On Thursday, it fulfilled the promise. So down here it says, in a security research blog titled Security Research in a Private Cloud Compute, Apple explains that it involved third-party auditors and some security researchers with early access. This included access to resources created for the project, including the PCC virtual research environment. But then if you scroll down a little bit further down here, it says, the post also says that the same resources are being made publicly available from Thursday. Apple says this allows all security and privacy researchers or anyone with an interest in technical curiosity to learn more about the private compute's workings and make sure their own independent verifications. So here we go again. And not only that, it's kind of cool. So down here, just you can get rich off this stuff. PCC bug bounty. Furthermore, Apple's expanding the Apple Security Bounty. It promises significant awards for reports of issues with the security and privacy of the private cloud compute. It says right here, it says the prize scale starts at $50,000 for accidental or unexpected disclosure of data due to a deployment or configuration issue. At the top end of the scale, managing to demonstrate basically code execution with arbitrary entitlements, which can earn participants up to $1 million. So basically, they've opened it up to try to find bugs and help them kind of fix the security loopholes from $50,000 up to $1 million if you catch it. So get hacking, I guess, and get in there and see what it's all about. I'm not into that kind of stuff. I know there's tons of people out there that are, but I think it's great that Apple's doing it. Now, Apple's behind, I think, in AI, but they're doing it right at least, and I think we're all in agreement with that. It's going to be super secure, so I think they're doing that right. Now, with all the intelligence or AI and Apple Intelligence, it's funny because I actually thought about this myself, and I think this is what everyone thinks, right? Especially the older population. I'm not that old yet, but I'm getting there. So here's from 9to5Mac. It says smartphone buyers may, on basically AI, care much more about battery life, right? It says Apple may be pitching Apple Intelligence as a key reason to upgrade on the iPhone 16, but it seems that most smartphone buyers are far more interested in the basics, like battery life. It's crazy. It says it found that only 10% of smartphone owners were currently using AI for tasks like photo editing, and only 12% used generative AI services like ChatGPT. Only 14% said they were excited about the AI features. Only 14%. So basically down here, just 18% of AI integrations are their main motivator for upgrading the phone. In fact, the biggest drivers, again, are buying a new device is longer battery life, 61%, more storage, 46%, and better camera, 38%. Now, it said millennials and earlier people obviously like AI a little bit more, but the majority of the aging population like 12 or 15% even use AI. It's not even important to them. They just don't even care. It's too complicated, or it just doesn't even improve their life. So, I mean, you got to take this, right? This has to be something important. Now, the generation's moving up that's living with it early. It's going to change things, obviously. But at the end of the day, battery life, like everything they say, faster phones, better camera, we want that. We don't want all the advancements. All right, quick rumor on this right here, Mac rumors. So the iPhone 17 Pro Max, the Pro Max only, again, rumored to feature smaller dynamic island due to Face ID change. So we kind of look in here, look how small it's going to get. Now, it basically goes on to say that, let me just see here, he does not expect the change to apply to the smaller iPhone 17 Pro or the iPhone 17 model. So basically, it's just the Pro Max that's going to get the smaller dynamic island. They're trying to find things to separate these more expensive phones from the lower end phones, which I don't even know if they need to do, because it looks like a lot of people buy the Pro models anyway instead of just the iPhone 17 or 16. All those, or 16 version, they tend to buy the Pro versions. Now, I think it's not that they're putting their own money into it. I think they get the phones from their like cell phone providers, and it ends up just, hey, might as well go with the best, right? If they were actually paying for it themselves, or at least not monthly or not built into the contract, they would probably buy the less expensive. But I know that they're buying them way more than usual, so I'm not sure this is needed, but they are going with a smaller dynamic island. Okay, so we have another Apple sale here. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm only announcing it because it's the lowest so far, and it's a tiny little sale, but look at here. This is basically on Amazon, Apple Watch Series 10 now, down to $365, 8% off, usually $399. It's the lowest price alert right now. Again, not much, right? But if you're a penny pincher, what does it come out to, like $35? Not too bad, not too shabby. All right, the next one's kind of a gut punch to all the people that just bought the Mini 7. But don't worry about it. There's a reason you shouldn't worry too much about it. Here's from Apple Insider. Next iPad mini rumored to get OLED, but you'll have to wait. There's the caveat, right? So here it is. Obviously, everyone just bought the Mini 7, and it's still even got some issues, and we'll get into that in a second. But still, with that said, it looks like OLED's coming on the next version. But I mean, I was looking through this thing, and, you kind of scroll all the way down here, and it's basically said, it's going to be due around 2026. So obviously, it looks like this is not going to be updated every year. It's going to be a 2-year cycle. So obviously, if you buy it now, you have a full 2 years before probably the iPhone or the iPad mini, what is they going to, 8, I guess it would be the 8 at that time, might have an OLED. But that's going to be 2 years from now. So it's a long way away. But if you buy stuff like every 5 or 6 years, it might be a gut punch. Okay, so with iOS 18.1 coming out just in a few days here, what is actually going to drop officially? We finally got all the stuff with the first version of it. Here it is from 9to5Mac. It says iOS 18.1 has the first Apple Intelligence features, and this is going to be for basically all of them. So here's what's coming. If you kind of scroll down here, this is going to be for iOS 18.1, iPadOS 18.1, and Sequoia 15.1. So we're going to get the writing tools. We're going to get cleanup in photos. We're going to get create a memory movie in photos, which is not, I'm not going to use that. Natural language search in photos, which actually might be okay to find some photos. Notification summaries, Siri enhancements. Enjoy the first version of Apple's new and improved Siri. It's going to be very, very basic, just very basic enhancements there. Priority messages in mail, smart reply in mail, summaries in mail, reduce interruptions and focus, intelligent breakthrough and silencing. So kind of, that's really what we're going to be getting there. Very, very limited in 18.1, but 18.2 is coming right after this, or not right after this, a month or two down the line. And that's where we're going to get some of the more, the features that we're all looking to get actually. So what are we going to get there? Let's go to the next article here. So here's from 9to5Mac as well. iOS 18.2 Beta 1, every new feature and change. So for all it's worth, you can actually download this right now. They actually have it in Beta 18.2. So if you don't want to wait and you're kind of one of those testers that you like to do stuff early, obviously, 18.1 is not even out yet, the official version. It will be, but maybe by the time you watch this. But 18.2 is available in beta right now. So what are we going to get with this? Let's kind of scroll down here. So it says, what's new in the iOS 18.2 beta? New Apple Intelligence features. All right, let's just kind of scroll down here. So the first one's going to be Genmoji support. So obviously that's not coming in 18.1. This is going to be 18.2. This is obviously where you can create your own emojis just based off of what you want to say. This is great for kids and stuff, but for adults and stuff, realistically, it's not like a deal breaker for me. The bigger integration is going to be Chat GPT integration. So obviously that's going to be what they talked about. That's not coming in 18.1, but it will come in 18.2. That might be something, real business people might actually use once in a while. Then we're going to get down to writing tools updates. Additionally, ChatGPT will be integrated with writing tools. So this kind of just different types of updates to the writing tools. Maybe a more premium update will be coming as well. This is the one that I'm kind of looking forward to a little bit. Visual intelligence will be coming in 18.2. This is where you can use the camera button, click on an image like this, and it's going to tell you all about it. So you can walk up to things when you're walking around. Maybe you're like traveling or something, and you want to take a picture of something, a historical building. It'll actually take it and then give you the information on it right on the phone. That's actually really cool. Another one's going to be Image Wand here, and obviously we've talked about this many times, but it's still not coming in 18.1. It'll be in 18.2. You can get it in beta right now. You can see it right there. So that's another big one. They keep kind of showing, but you're not getting it for a little while here. They also said new mail app features basically coming, so you can see that there. Nothing life-changing here. Default apps is going to be in 18.2. It lets users set default apps for messaging and calling worldwide. This is managed through the new defaults menu. So you get to have these all defaults. And then let me just here, voice memos upgrade, volume limit, and some other things in here. So nothing huge again. I mean, most of the more important things are coming in 18.2. So 18.1 is almost here, but you may have to do the beta if you want all those other features. Okay, so here's another gut punch for the Mini 7. Now, I know a lot of people love the iPad Mini, but was Jelly scrolling fixed again? Take a look over here. This is from BGR. It says, bad news in iPad Mini 7 reviews. Jelly scrolling issue hasn't been completely fixed. So I was reading through this whole article without getting too much into it. A lot of people are saying it's slightly fixed. It's fixed kind of, but under certain circumstances, they still get it. There's other people that swear they've never seen it before, and I think I fall into that kind of category. I don't care, I guess. I don't know. I don't watch it closely enough to even see it. I know a lot of people are really adamant about it as well, so it's kind of both sides, but they're saying it's been fixed a little bit. I mean, from all the reviews I've read, just a little bit, but not completely. Some new changes coming to the next iPhones is going to be basically based on the new watch that just came out. What does that mean? Apple Insider, Apple Watch display tech hints at iPhone ProMotion upgrade. So here's the Watch 10 that just came out. If you kind of go down here, it came out with a new screen called the Low Temperature Polycrystalline Oxide TLPO, Thin Layer Transistor, TFT, is a backplane technology that enables for dynamic refresh rate adjustment in an OLED screen, is what allows the Apple Watch to have the always-on display. So more or less what that can do basically is it allows the always-on, because OLEDs used to burn in, but this actually, it says it's basically got a dynamic refresh rate. It just helps it from not burning in. It's got some other things that, there's a lot more technology that goes into it. But overall, I think they're bringing that technology now to the iPhones because they're testing on the watches right now. It seems like it's working really well. They've had very little issues with it. So now it's going to move over to that. So who knows? Maybe it'll move over to the Mini 7 or Mini 8 coming out in 2 years when all those things get OLEDs, and maybe the Macs as well. But that's the key on the Macs. So all the big Macs like the M5 Macs and the M6 Macs in the future, if they get OLEDs then, Apple needs to figure it out, because people on computers a lot more will leave something up on the screen for a very long time. It's way more subject to burn-in and all that kind of stuff over the 8 years or 7 years of using a device than it is on something like a watch, where you just scroll and it turns off and on, or even an iPad. So this is kind of what they're testing, and this is going to be the future, I think, of all their screens moving forward. Okay, so on this channel, we always talk about Apple selling devices that are called renewed premium, and that basically means that they're renewed, obviously, but they really actually come from Apple's refurbished store, I think. They come in those original boxes and everything. Here's another good sale here on Amazon. This is the 2023. It's the M2 Air, but it's the 15-inch model right now. It is the renewed premium here, but it's only $887, so it's a great price, right? So $887 for a 15-inch, not the 13-inch, the 15-inch. It is renewed premium, but we know it usually comes from the Apple refurbished store, comes in that box and everything. So check it out if you want one. It's probably a good pickup if you want the 15-inch base model. Okay, so I bet you didn't know this, right? Do you remember a couple events ago when Apple was announcing a bunch of stuff? Tim Cook had some very specific Nikes on that looked like they was Apple designed. Well, he's got a whole history with this. Many people don't know this, but take a look here. Apple Insider. Apple CEO Tim Cook continues to kick it with Nike almost 20 years later. He was wearing these shoes right here. You can see them right here. But that's not what people didn't realize. If you kind of scroll down here, this is the surprising part. Apple CEO Tim Cook has been on Nike's board for almost 20 years, and he has now helped to guide the major sports brand through some major stormy weather. It says Tim Cook has a long relationship with Nike. The Apple CEO has been on Nike's board of directors since 2005, the longest of any board member. At the end of 2024, Cook is continuing his advisory role with the company chairman, Mark Parker. So long story short, he's actually kind of working for Nike at the same time he's working for Apple. So if you see him wearing like Nike shoes and stuff, there's always a reason why they do it. It's not just to promote, some other company, right? It's always about the money, right? Anyways, you get the idea. I didn't know that actually, and now I do. Okay, so on this channel, we always talk about how Apple devices save people, or they someone steals a car, and the Apple device gets the car back because they can track it and stuff. Here's the exact opposite. So I figured I'd throw this in here. Here's Mac rumors. Dropped iPhone causes woman to be trapped upside down in rock crevice for hours. So in this case, it's funny. I just wanted to throw this in because the lady dropped her iPhone. Take a look here, down this crevice, and look at her feet. You can see her feet right there. So she went after it, and she got lodged in there, upside down, and she couldn't reach her phone. People ended up saving her. She was fine. I think this was like in Australia or something like that. But overall, it's the exact opposite of usually Apple devices saving you. Here's one that she actually almost died from actually trying to retrieve an Apple device. Okay, interesting article from Apple Insider. It says right here, Apple severely cuts Vision Pro production and may stop it completely very soon. Oh no, what does it mean? I don't even care about that because we know they're making a cheaper version of it sooner or later. They have to. But it's just interesting to understand like what Apple's actually doing. So like what are the numbers? So it says analysts believe that Apple sold approximately 370,000 headsets in the first 3 quarters of 2024 and will only sell 50,000 by the end of the year, 50,000 more basically. Meanwhile, it is thought that Luxshare has assembled between 500 and 600,000 headsets, meaning there are about 200,000 outstanding headsets just sitting there doing nothing. So they have 200,000 in stock. They sold around 370,000 for all it's worth if you want to know the numbers. Probably not enough for developers and stuff like that. That's the problem. And they said they're probably not going to even, that might be enough to end it until they get the next version out, which will be the cheaper, sub $2,000 version of this that they really need. I think they learned their lesson, right? It's good for design, good for learning stuff, but nobody wants to spend $3,500 on a headset. Okay, so I hope you guys are all enjoying the weekend. All right, so I got a cool article here if you like gaming. Here it is right here. Apple Insider. Apple rumored to be working on a new game-focused app store and launcher. So we scroll down here. Apple is allegedly working on an entirely new app store type application made specifically for their games. So we always talk about them wanting to increase their, all the games that they produce and just make gaming something on a Mac finally. It says Apple's new application is said to combine aspects of the existing App Store and Game Center into one place. The report from 9to5Mac claims that the new game-focused App Store will feature a Play Now tab along with a tab for a user's friend. The Play Now tab will be supposedly contain content handpicked by the app's editorial staff, while the application will also feature challenges, leaderboards, and achievements. It'll also let you basically FaceTime and message people and stuff like that. So they're basically just reworking so that it's going to be more like a gaming-centric type environment for people. Obviously, they want to work on that aspect of their business as far as getting more games in. So we've seen some new titles coming and stuff like that. This is one more step in the right direction. Okay, for this next one, I have another Apple sale. I want to see you in the posts. Do you guys think this is a good deal? I actually think it is, but you tell me. So here it is. Apple 2023. This is the MacBook Pro. It's the M2 version of it, though, all right? M2, 14-inch. But it does come with 16 gigs of RAM, but a 1 terabyte SSD. $1649. So usually though $24.99. That's 5, 6, 7. What is it? 7. Almost $750 off right now. Now again, the M4s are coming out. They're going to be faster, but this is going to be fast enough for almost anybody. And you're getting $750, $800 off the price. You're not going to get that off the M4. So I think even though this is an older chip, I have an M2 sitting right here. I still think it's a good deal. But you guys tell me in the comments. Okay, so we have 2 more left here. This next one, though, I have to take a sip. That was a small one because these things kind of burn my blood here. I hate these articles, but I just got to this is news, right? So right here, 9to5Mac. More than 100 million Americans had their health data exposed in a United Health hack. So I don't know. We always talk about these things like where data gets hacked and then we never hear about it or nothing ever happens. It says a United Health hack has exposed the personal information and health data of more than 100 million Americans. The first time the company has put specific numbers on this, all right? It's pretty crazy. So kind of down here, it says the sensitivity of the information compromised was every bit concerning as a scale. It's basically, it compromised health insurance information, such as the primary, secondary, and other health plan policies, insurance policies, member group IDs, Medicare and government payer ID numbers, healthcare information, such as medical records, providers, medicines, test results, all this stuff, billing, claims, and payment information, such as claim numbers, account numbers, billing codes, payment codes, financial and banking information, payments made, balance due, and then other personal information, social security numbers, driver license numbers, passport numbers. I mean, the list goes on. 100 million Americans, that's like 1 in 3 Americans that got this. Do you even know about this? And what's being done? I mean, these companies being sued. I mean, like, this is crazy. We all need to form like a huge group and sue these places and get this money back, right? I mean, this is they gotta somehow clean this up or make some kind of a law against it. I know there is, but no, they get like a $50 million penalty. It's like billions and billions of dollars coming in. They don't care. They just keep continuing and continuing. You guys tell me, did you even know about this one? Okay, the last sale here of the day, and don't kill the messenger again. It is the lowest price update, but it's a tiny little one if you'd like to save a couple bucks. Here's the new iPad mini 7. This is going to be basically the base model, right? $484, usually $499, but it's the lowest price alert right now, so you got to pick it up if you can. If you want to save that 15 bucks, there it is, lowest price alert. So, all right, we're going to wrap up this video here. Hope you guys like the channel. We always have some fun on the weekends, and I'm going to try to make this a little bit better. I'm just so busy right now. I have to do this kind of quickly in the weekends because I do all my other videos during the week. I make, I do reviews of products and try to make 3 or 4 videos a week. So one person, I do all the editing, everything, so it's hard for me. But subscribe if you can. It's only going to get better, and we'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.